Good evening. Myself Sutapa. I am very happy and delighted to talk here because I am going to talk on something which is very close to my heart. Let me first introduce myself. I am a therapist, a person with positivity, a mental health professional. I love to talk on being positive and being somebody to take care so that you make a difference to everyone's life. How do you do that? We do that if we are happy ourselves. So it is a lesson and it's a presence that you keep on being happy and looking around to make others happy too. On this ground, I would want to talk about what is mental health. Mental health is something which we are all having at some point of the time or the other in our life, at any stage of life, or what we see around us. Just like we can have physical ailments like fever, like cough, like cold, like allergic conditions, we can have also mental health problems. What are the mental health problems? We can be anxious, we can be depressed, we can be fearful, we can be disgusted. So these are emotional outbursts which we have. Anger is also an emotional outburst. But what is anger? Anger is something which is not an emotional at all. It is something which is a manifestation of some other mental condition. We can be sad, we cannot express ourselves, we are feeling hopeless, we are feeling helpless. So how we manifest our behavior? It's through anger. So similarly, we can also face situations whereby we are very depressed, and that can come as a result of a trauma, as a result of a bereavement. So these are all different states of agony and situations where mental health becomes a prominent part of our life. Now, what are the areas which impacts our mental health? According to the biopsychosocial model, physiological get-up of a person, a biological genetic get-up of a person may impact a person from a mental health point of view. Similarly, there can be situations where psychologically he can get disturbed. There can be a trauma, an accident, a death in the family, or there can be a situation where he is facing a lot of stress, adverse conditions, as a result of which he is not in the right mental state of mind. And finally, society or the environment plays a very important part in our life as far as mental health is concerned. Time and again we see that people have a lot of stigma to talk about their mental health problems. We feel, no, if we talk about our mental health, if we talk we are not mentally okay, we will be called lunatic. But that's not the approach. That's not what we should feel. If we can talk about being sick, if we can talk about not feeling well due to any physical reason, why can't we talk about not being well mentally? This is very important because in our lifestyle, in our society, it is very unknown that if there is a physical state of mind, there can be also a mental state of mind. As we move on in our life, starting from different developments, life cycle, starting from infancy to childhood, to adolescence, to adulthood, to old age, we see the mental health issue is there at some point or the other. Anxiety, depression, manifestation of different mental ailments can be with a person at any point of time. A child who is an infant cannot express except for crying is also mentally anxious as well as mentally depressed when he doesn't see his parents around. He will be unhappy when he doesn't get his milk in time. Similarly, when a boy or a girl at the age of 5 or 6 first time steps on to the school, he is worried because his mother is not around. He is excited too. So these are situations where he faces the mental anxiety. So he becomes tensed. Now when we step into adulthood, we face a lot of mental pressure. Why? Because we start to think differently, our cognition builds up. Time and again, we face a lot of difficulties in our environment, and that's where we see a lot of mental agony comes into play. Similarly, when we start our adulthood, whether it be a young adult or whether it be a middle adult or late adult, we see at different phases we face a lot of mental problems, whereby it is very important to stay positive, to take care of our mental well-being. Finally, in the age of old age, when we have to have geriatric problems, this is something which none of us can avoid, because old age is something, if we are living, we have to go through. So this is a situation where we should acknowledge if there are mental agony, if there are mental depressions, if there are mental anxiety. So important to understand that we should all overcome the stigma and be happy that the world around today is a much friendlier place where we can talk about our situations, where we can talk about our adversities and also discuss problems, discuss issues and areas of concern where we are impacted mentally. And trust me, we are all here to listen to you. We are all here to talk to you and make life a better place to live. With positivity, with hope, and also to share, because sharing is caring. Thank you very much, and looking forward to having sessions where I can talk to you about
interview of psychologist Sutopa Bardhan by Shoikat Kumar Basu, Bureau Report, Kalinga Chronicle TV.